Hello, I'm John Smelcer, and welcome to another episode of Ahtna Mythology, Ahtna Myths. In this myth, we learn how Raven, Saghani Ggaay, the trickster, is like perpetually hungry. He is always hungry. He could eat, a whole bunch of food and right afterwards go looking for more. Well, one day, Raven heard there was this whale swimming around down by the ocean. Now, Ahtna Country doesn't touch the ocean. It goes very close down towards Valdez, down towards Cordova, but it doesn't actually include coastal waters. Well, back in the old days, though, we used to trade a lot. We'd often go down the Copper River to trade with villages that were Tlingit down there along the coast. So we still had exposure to the coast and coastal creatures, and this myth is probably one of those stories that came with us into the interior a long time ago. And well, anyhow, he heard about this whale, and Raven was hungry. He wanted to go eat it. So he flew around until he saw it swimming just, right at the surface with his spout above the water, and he had this idea. So Raven went and got himself a bundle of firewood, kindling and firewood, and he strapped it with a rope to his back, like a backpack of firewood. And he flew right down beside the whale, and he said, "Hello, Mr. Whale. How are you? Don't you know that you and I are related? We're cousins." And the Raven said, "We're not cousins at all. I mean, look at you. You're a bird, and I'm a whale. We're nothing alike." And Raven thought up a great lie. He said, "Oh, I can prove we're related. If you open your mouth, you'll see that your mouth on the inside is very much like my mouth on the inside." Well, Whale fell for it, and he opened his mouth wide to let Raven look in. But no sooner did he do that, that Raven ran right down his throat, down into his belly, and poor whale knew our word for whale is Telaani. Even though we don't have whales in our country, we have the word for whale, Telaani. And he built a campfire using that firewood. And he built the fire, and smoke was coming up through the whale's mouth, and he knew he was done for. He knew he had been tricked. And Raven sat there for days and days and weeks, just cutting little chunks of food, meat off of that whale while it's still alive, and roasting them over a stick fire. Remember, we say when you roast meat over a fire, it's guess. So he made roasted meat over a fire. And little by little, he was eating that poor whale. And one day, he started wondering how he's going to get out of that. And one day he could hear voices of humans. The whale must be near a beach. It must be dying and beaching itself. So Raven real quick cut a hole, took his knife, and he cut a hole right through that side of that whale, and he burst out. He climbed out of that whale, and just then the poor whale died, and the whale died. So Raven was totally free, and you know what he did? As soon as he flew away, he went off looking for something else to eat. Hope you enjoyed this rather interesting story of Telaani and Saghani Ggaay.